Welcome once again to the Do Whatever podcast. What are you up to? Me? I am currently sitting in a hammock in my backyard. We got a little Amazon special standalone hammock for our backyard, so I'm sitting in the shade on a Saturday morning right now. My two old idiot dogs are running around barking at everything that walks by the fence. My adorable 15-month-old daughter is running around playing like a crazy person. The two older kids are inside watching cartoons. So, Dad of the Year?
And if you give up now. Leave me be. It's the crime of the century. And if you give up,
Wife is working today, so it's just one iota less than perfect. It'd be nice if she were here, but it's all right. Still pretty good. Got a cup of coffee in hand. I'll tell you, I started the month of November. I decided, hey, I'm not gonna drink. I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna go for a couple weeks, maybe a month, and just not drink. Never really had a problem with quitting drinking. Never had a problem with drinking interfering with my life. I'm just kind of curious, would it even me out? Would it help my energy levels? Would it make any sort of change or do anything? And so, for like 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks, I was pretty solid on it, and didn't really have booze in the house. And besides some of the ancient stuff we have in the liquor cabinet, we have my wife's grandfather, God rest his soul, actually. He just passed the day before yesterday. Very sad. He was a great man. This guy was a bomber pilot that flew missions in World War II. So that generation of man. Yeah, he just passed. He was 95 years old, I believe. But when he was moving out of his house, he kind of bequeathed to us, he gave us all this old liquor, and some of this stuff's from like the 1970s, like early 1970s. And it was like vermouth and like all these sorts of mixes and stuff, and we've never really had the gumption to touch them. It's liquor, right? It's gonna keep, I think so. But we've never really cracked them. But we also have our own stuff. We have tequila, stuff for mixed drinks. We party, not really. Yeah, we don't really have like a lot of, for the last few weeks we didn't have a lot of accessible booze. My wife has wine, but I drink wine intermittently. Been more into it lately. I think craft beer and I have kind of gone through a divorce over the past couple of years, so it's been more wine. But so when I say there's no booze in the house, I'm actually 100% lying about that. I just mean that there isn't beer that I normally drink. But it was not really an issue for the last 3 weeks to not drink. I've just never had the touch of addiction or dependence. I've just never had it for anything like drugs, alcohol, gambling, women, anything. I've never really had like the addiction touch, I guess. And it runs in my family. It's not skipping generations, so not entirely sure why. But yeah, after like 2 weeks, I felt kind of like a doofus for doing it because it caused no appreciable change in my life. I didn't feel better, didn't feel healthier, didn't feel more awake, aware, more well-rested, anything. I'll have 1 to 2 drinks a night usually, most nights of the week when I'm drinking. And when it went down to 0, they just didn't change appreciably. Now, I say all that to say this. I'm sitting here in a hammock with a cup of coffee in my hand. And I had 2 beers last night. I broke the liquor fast, or the booze fast. I decided to just dive back in. The holidays are starting. I got in-laws coming over to the house this week. Thanksgiving coming up. And, that's not a time to be completely sober, is it? So maybe, for those of you that are analyzing me at home, maybe you'll be able to figure out something as to why I chose right before they started coming to start drinking again. Maybe subconsciously I'm really creating a cushion there, knowing that it's going to get anxiety-ridden. And her family doesn't cause me a lot of anxiety. They're good people, much better people than my parents were. They adopted me as their own. They're good people. They're accomplished. They're educated. There's just levels of anxiety and family drama that happen no matter what, and they're not immune from it. Nobody is. So yeah, started boozing again. But last night I had 2 beers, and I woke up feeling it this morning. Got a little shadow of a headache. So I guess that's, if you're going to say something that changed. But again, when I was drinking regularly, I think I had built up, a tolerance to the point to where I didn't have headaches after 2 beers or 3 or 6 or 12. But after a few weeks off, having a couple of beers, and these were, pretty legitimate beers. It was a sour and an IPA. So, these were crafty. But yeah, they left me with a little bit of a shade of a hangover, I want to call it. But the other parts of the hangover aren't there, like I'm not sick to my stomach, I'm not super sleepy or tired or just miserable or anything. I just got a little bit of a headache. It could just be that, I'm 38 and I got 3 kids. That could be the source of the headache, right? I haven't slept past 7 o'clock in 8 years. So that could have something to do with it. No, sleep habits have been pretty good. That's usually a huge weakness for me, is that I don't sleep very well. I don't have what you call good sleep hygiene. I stay up too late. I'm a night owl, and that's cool. It's caused me to be very productive in my life, and it's made for some good times because I have my best thoughts, my most creative thoughts start at 6 or 7 in the evening, and then I just start rolling from there. The first half of the day, the morning until midday, it's honestly survival for me. I feel like I'm just surviving and catching up on work, parenting, taking care of the house. It's just survival mode at that point. There's nothing, I'm taking care of the grunt work. There's no moving any big initiatives forward at that time. Ooh, nice jump, squirrel. Got some acrobatic squirrels back here. We have 2, 3, 4, actually, huge oak trees that cover this entire backyard, and so I get to watch, do a little bit of wildlife watching here, and we got some acrobatic squirrels up in this canopy. It's about 5 or 6 of them, 2 juveniles that are kind of coming into their own. They're starting to get fat now. I think they want me to grab my bow and shoot them. I'll eat them. I'm not just going to shoot them to be cruel. And that's the hillbilly within talking right there. I'll eat a squirrel. Why wouldn't you? It's meat. Oh, what the hell was I talking about right there? But yeah, the boozing just didn't change a whole lot, so I'll deal with it. But the surviving, right? The sleep hygiene thing. I'm just getting through the first half of the day, but I start getting active at night. It takes a lot. Hey, sweetie. Here comes Leah. She's got rocks to show me. Ooh, that's a pretty one. Yeah, I agree. You want to see a ball? Oh, you got a ball. Can you throw it? Yeah, you can. Your last name is Beach. You can throw. Oh, I love that about my kids. They can all throw. Beach kids have always been able to throw. Like from my generation, generations before, and this one too. I don't know. That's like if I have one genetic gift to give, their mother gives them most of the genetic gifts, the looks, the brains, the temperament, but my side of the family can throw, man. I like that. But the night owl thing it's a blessing and a curse because unfortunately most of the adult world, I can't open that, honey. I mean, I can. I know you're trying, right? It's a jar of bubbles. And as fun as that would be, if I open it, you're just going to spill all over me and yourself. So I can't open it. It's closed too hard. You can use your strength and you try. You can't do it, can you? Can you go find another ball? Yeah. No, I see your point. But yeah, the blessing of the night owl thing is that I can stay up late and be productive, and I can stay out late and keep up. Not so much anymore at 38 years old, but I could for a long time. But then the downside is that most of the adult world and the world of kids does not operate on a night owl basis. Everybody's up at the crack of dawn. So I've had to adjust. Yeah, you hear me talking and you want to talk too. You're going to be on the podcast. Yeah. Leah's 15 months old, almost 16. And she is trying so hard to talk right now. She's got a couple of words, but she's got a lot of babbles right now. So she's showing them off. And she wants to lay on daddy and be in the podcast right now. Oh, are you climbing up? Okay, you heard me say lay on daddy, and you're going to get up here, aren't you? You little monkey. You're a little monkey. Oh, you got me. All right, I am currently being mounted and grounded and pounded by a toddler. She's got a serious ground game. Full mount. Oh, gosh. Yeah, you're the reason Daddy can't be a real night owl anymore. That's you. Yeah, you're the reason Daddy can't be a night owl. And that's okay. I like getting up with you in the morning. You announce your presence with authority in the morning. Just like that. That's right. Except much louder. That's how you announce your presence. Authority. Yeah, look at you. That's a big mouth. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Shucked her off. There we go. Oh, sprawl. Here we go. We're getting to the fundamentals early. So, yeah, that's another fun development. Speaking of MMA type talk, is that I have now officially signed up for Team Rabadi, which is that's not like B-O-D-Y, R-A-B-A-D-I is the name of the owner and head coach. It is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai school in just outside Round Rock in Pflugerville, Texas. I am signed up. I'm in. I'm on the team, as it were. I'm taking just Muay Thai classes. I have dabbled in striking most of my youth and adult life. I have dabbled, but I've had instruction here and there. I boxed and did martial arts growing up with my brother. In college, I had a roommate who did some Vale Tudo fights early on. I can't open it, baby. I'm telling you, I can't. I tried. I'm not strong enough. I can't do it. I know, right? Life is not fair. Yeah, I had a roommate that did some Vale Tudo fights, so we messed around, when we were friends throughout college. So he taught me some grappling, striking, but I've dabbled as best I can say, and I've kept a heavy bag for most of my adult years. Just hit that for exercise and for fun. But yeah, I'm going head first. At 38 years old, I'm deciding to get in and get instructed. Get real instruction, and it's been great, man. I love the environment. I love the culture. I like the coaching. So everybody there is super respectful, but it's not like over the top traditional martial arts respectful where it's almost a hindrance. And here come the idiot dogs to bark at the people walking by. Yeah, you're very, very tough. Yeah, you're defending our yard against people that are just walking. And dogs are small and obnoxious. You can tell by the barks. They're yappies. They're miniature pinchers. One of them, they're fat too. One of them's 20 pounds. The other one's like 30 pounds. Should not be that big as a miniature dog. They're like a medium-sized dog packed in. They're like an overstuffed sausage case. But yeah, the culture's really good at Rabadi. So far, so good. They're very welcoming to newbies, but it's not coddling. You don't feel like you're being patronized. They're going to put you in, and my second day, I'm sparring by the end, and this isn't like real sparring. This is no headgear, no anything. This is just shins and gloves and 30%, and it's me and another new person. So it's nice. It's a good way to. Now I sparred against a very, very new person, somebody who's very new to martial arts in general, somebody who'd not done any of this stuff, and what I regret about that. Because now, no discredit to him. The guy was a warrior. He came straight forward. He took everything I had to give. Like, he was not scared. He had some natural flinch stuff that happens when you're not familiar with this stuff. But whatever, man. He was a stud. But I kind of want to get paired up with somebody that can whoop my ass. I kind of want to get shown all my deficiencies. I richly deserve an ass beating is what I'm trying to say. And I want that. And I'm sure I'll have my chance to get that. And it's probably better to, as a coach, for them to consider my safety. To not have me stepping in the way of head kicks. I do tend to weave a lot from boxing. I tend to weave and slip a lot. So I'm probably going to run my head right into some knees. So I look forward to that. But yeah, it's a new chapter. That's the best way I can put it. I got a sweet pair of shorts. Yeah, you want the footstool for the trampoline? Oh, toddler on a trampoline. What could go wrong, right? All right, I'll set up the footstool for you. Can you climb up there? There, girl. Go for it. You just wanted me to set the footstool up. I got you. Oh, no, you want a big giant pink ball on the trampoline. Okay, I see. I see how it is. We'll put that up there, okay? You want to go? right, Leah's going to bounce on the trampoline. Oh, you want both of the giant balls up there. I see. One is not enough. Uh-oh. She fell on her butt picking up the ball. Here, I'll put her on the trampoline for you. Okay, here we go. So yeah, new chapter, new shorts. I've had gloves for a while, so I didn't need their gloves. Got a sweet tank top out of the deal. Size large, so it's a little snug. But hey, just looking more jacked. Every size you go down, you look more jacked, right? All right, be careful bouncing, baby. It's easier without a big brother and sister on here, isn't it? So yeah, that's kind of the new focus for me right now. Like, that's my new thing. It's a new thing I want to get good at. It's, like I said, it's a thing that I've been fascinated by, dabbled in, messed around with, but you know, just going full bore into a martial art at 38 years of age. What could go wrong, right? And I've had people ask me, you know, when I posted stuff on Instagram, like, oh, you stepping in the ring, you getting ready for a fight? Or, no, I'm not doing that. Am I completely closing off myself to the idea of ever having a fight? No. I'm down, but I got a lot to do before then. I mean, me stepping into a smoker, which is, I guess for anybody that's in the know, that's like a small, informal fight. That's not going to, like, you know, give you an amateur record or anything like that. I'm totally not against that, but before I step into anything like that, I need to know what I'm doing. You know, like, it's one thing to be able to know how to throw a punch and throw a kick, but it's a whole different thing to be able to fight somebody else who knows how to and do it for 3 rounds. That's a whole different deal. And there's safety and there's just general ability, knowledge, technical ability, capability to be able to hold my own in there and, you know, not embarrass myself or not hurt myself or my opponent. So I guess you want to hurt your opponent fighting. I guess this isn't a... Yeah, you're right. I guess you do want to hurt them, but I guess when you're fighting at that level, you know, you don't want to end up being malicious. There's no need for that. Yeah? No, you agree with me, don't you? You silly girl. So yeah, I'm not closing my mind to the idea of it, but there's plenty to do before then. And I just, you know, this is like anything else, like it was with throwing, like it was with lifting, like it was with fencing, like it was with baseball. This is a craft. This is a new thing for me to learn the craft of, and I'm very new to the craft. And that's the part that fascinates me quite a bit. I think anybody that does this sort of thing, I think you should enjoy the craft. You should enjoy the process. That's why you should be into something. That's why you should try to succeed or excel at something, is because you like the craft. You want to see yourself get better at it. I think especially in the martial arts, if you're just doing it because you want to kick somebody or you want to hit someone, that's the wrong reasons. It can be one of the reasons. It can start you off, I guess, but I think at a certain point you need to develop a love for the stuff. You know, you need to develop an interest in getting better at the craft, in being a craftsman, as it were. You want me to grab your brother's stinky socks off the ground? Is that what you're begging me for right now? Okay, hold on. I'll get you the stinky sock. Okay, there you go. You got Evan's stinky socks. Congratulations. It's really what she wanted. She wanted an old, crusty pair of socks off the backyard, off the ground in the backyard. Okay, whatever it takes. And yeah, it's just like when you start lifting. If you're lifting just to look better, there's going to be people that think like, oh, that's not a cool goal. You should be lifting for performance. You should be lifting for, you know, to get strong. You know, see what you can do. And I tend to agree for the most part. But if the way somebody looks or how they look with their shirt off gets them into the gym, that's awesome. That's great, because then they can discover the craft. They can discover all the performance-based things that are really a lot more fun when you get down to it. But getting in there to look pretty, I don't have a problem with that anymore. I mean, maybe in my 20s, I would criticize people that were lifting to look pretty, but not anymore. At least they're doing something, which, you know, is more than I've been doing lately. The weight room and throwing has just not been at the top of my list lately. Also, as I'm saying this, I'm trying to keep a toddler from running headfirst off of a trampoline. So, there you go. Multitasking, coordination, it's all there. Working on my parenthood craft. But yeah, the weight room and throwing has just not been high priority for me. I struggle with that once in a while because it has not been my life for many, many years now to not be emphasizing that and not have that be top priority. But yeah, I'm reaching the do whatever point, to call back to the name of this here podcast. I'm reaching that do whatever point. I'm finding a new rabbit hole, and my personal philosophy is to encourage that. I believe that people should not obsess with specialization and single-mindedness. I think most of us, if we're totally honest, are not meant for greatness in a single task. I think those that are, sometimes it's very clear. There's a point of clarity at which they know that they are meant for greatness in that thing, and they must pursue it. But most of us, we're probably better served by being very, very skilled, broad-based generalists, and that's okay. That's the take-home message of this podcast at this point, is that it's okay. It's okay to be general. And honestly, in terms of throwing, I'm getting a lot more, I guess, satisfaction out of being a coach right now. Coaching the athletes that I've been coaching for a couple of years and helping out new people, answering questions. I still enjoy the art and craft of throwing. Just, it's not the thing that I'm pursuing right now. And now we're in the stage of toddlerhood where we want to go up and down, off the trampoline and back on over and over again. If you're a parent, you're aware of this particular phase of play. Now we're off, and then we're on. You want to go on or off? Well, you got the stinky socks no matter what. She's not letting go of her brother's stinky socks no matter what she's doing now. Priorities. Whoa, there you go. Just walk right off the edge. Yeah. But it is okay to be a generalist, like I said. That's kind of what my whole personal philosophy is based around. Do you want to go up or down? Which one do you want? Okay, there you go. You're up. Go get the ball. Distraction technique. Yeah, and the whole idea of moving to a new thing, there's an inevitable that makes you question what you're doing with the last thing. Is it still important to you? Is it still a high priority for you? And the point of being in the weight room for me, for the last 7 years at least, 7-8 years, oh God, almost 10 probably, was just to be strong and perform well. And even if you unpack that a little bit, the point always wasn't just be as strong as possible either, to have max strength. I wanted to perform. I wanted to be powerful. I wanted to be fast. I wanted to be prepared. I wanted to be multifaceted. So I don't know that I can say right now that being strong is that important to me. Like, is my strength that important to me? We're approaching tantrum time, if you can't tell. A ball rolled off the trampoline in a way she didn't like. So now we're approaching tantrum. See if throwing the ball fascinates her a little bit. Oh, yeah, it did. But is being strong that important to me? I don't know anymore. Right now, no. Doesn't get me out of bed in the morning. The idea of getting stronger doesn't get me out of bed in the morning. Doesn't fascinate me. Doesn't... that's not a particular craft that gets me going. It rouses my interest at this point. And I don't think I need to apologize for that. And, a lot of you that are going to be listening to this are people that are very established or interested in the strength game. That's what you love. And it's not that, me taking vacation from that or checking out of that world means that I don't have a love and appreciation for those of you that are in it. It's just not where I am right now. I am very interested in being healthy. Look, man, I'm 38. I know that's, the boring kind of stuff that every guy gets in his late 30s with kids gets into, but I want to be healthy. I want to be kind of my natural, normal weight without having to feel like I constantly have to push it upwards. I like being between 200 and 220 pounds. Probably closer to 200 if I'm totally honest. That's kind of where I naturally fall. I think I'm right around 200 right now. And I care about being, like I said, I'll use that word multifaceted in terms of the gym, but I like having a broad skill set. I like being able to move well. I like being quick. I like being fast. I like being prepared for any physical task. I think that's pretty fun. I like being mobile, flexible. Yeah! You agree with me, don't you? I like being mobile and flexible. I like feeling good. And all the time, chasing strength and power, you don't always feel good. You feel good when you're strong and powerful, and when you're executing those particular skills and you're in the weight room building them. But there are other times during the day you don't. There are times where I don't like eating as much as I have to maintain that. I've never been a big fan of the amount of eating it takes. There's no joke. There's no secret about that. That's why I'm a lightweight national champion and not a open class or heavyweight champion. It's just, I'm 6'2". I'm sure I could carry 240, 250 plus and perform at a decently high level in the Scottish Highland Games or anything else. Oh, she got my coffee cup and she poured it all over herself. No, she didn't. I thought she did for a second, but the lid stayed on. It's cold, don't worry. As a parent, you very rarely get to drink whole hot cups of coffee. That's just definitely. She's fascinated with coffee cups, by the way. So this is like the scariest thing she has. She has poured room temperature or cold cups of coffee on herself. She did it with my wife the other day. So she's very fascinated by coffee cups. No other kind of cup, really. Coffee cups, very interesting to her. Maybe it's because the HVIII Brand Goods cups have such great art on them. That could be what's really drawing her in. That's what we're going to say anyway. Speaking of which, this podcast is brought to you by HVIII Brand Goods. HVIII Brand Goods is an apparel and accessories company. You can find at thehate.com. That's HVIII.com. Black Friday coming up. Black Friday is always big for any apparel company. Certainly no different at HVIII Brand Goods. HVIII Brand Goods has a ton of stuff coming out, fall-based stuff. They have a new camo mesh hat. That's the first one I mentioned because that's like my favorite right now. With the advanced package that I got, I really, really like that hat. It's a mossy oak camo. And those of you that know that I'm into hunting, that's a big deal for me. That is probably going to be a hat that I wear when I'm hunting. It does have some white on it. I don't think it's a big deal because it does have it's orange on camo. There's a little bit of white in the patch, but if I'm a good enough hunter, that little patch of white should not matter. Sneak preview, I'm not that good of a hunter yet. But yeah, that hat's coming out. There's a beanie coming out. The beanie is the best looking beanie that HVIII Brand Goods has ever done. And there are going to be 2 outer shell jackets, waterproof jackets, a bunch of shirts as always, training shorts. Man. So much good stuff coming up for Black Friday. So stay tuned to the HVIII Brand Goods, all one word, Instagram account to see all the cool stuff that's happening for Black Friday. And you will see all sorts of codes on there that are going to happen. There are going to be discount codes. If you follow our sponsored athletes, that's where you're going to find. I think we have like 4 million of them now. I don't know. It's like 16. But if you follow the sponsored athletes, you will see discount codes for stuff on Black Friday. And we're also going to do an all-in-one inclusive bundle. Now, I say we. I realize that might sound weird to some of you. I am one of the owners of HVIII Brand Goods. So, therefore, they get to sponsor my podcast. Lucky us, right? Lucky HVIII Brand Goods to get to sponsor this monster. So, yeah, head to HVIII Brand Goods. Check out all the stuff we got there. The coffee cups that I talked about are there. We got ceramic coffee cups. We also have a new to-go mug in the works. It'll be a few weeks for that one. Before we get it's going to be a Contigo style because they do, in my opinion, the best type of coffee mugs. The quality is fantastic. We'll put some HVIII Brand Goods art on there. Get them looking slick. Yeah, HVIII Brand Goods. thehate.com. Now, this podcast is also sponsored by Throw Bros. Throw Bros is the only online store for Highland Games athletes. So you can go to Throwbros. Ooh, nailed it, Beach. Throwbros.com. Bunch of things happening there. There is a t-shirt pre-sale right now. The first t-shirt that Throw Bros, due to popular demand, is put out. So there's a pre-sale going on until the end of November. So you can pre-order your shirt. Sizes small through 3XL. Probably going to do more of the XL sizes than we do the small. Just going to guess. Since we're catering to Highland Games athletes, just a guess. So that's going on now. Sweet black t-shirt with a Scottish Hammer splash design on the back. Really dig that one. You can see it on the Throw Bros Instagram account. Throw Bros, all one word, at Throw Bros. Also on Twitter, same thing. Also, Throw Bros has started adding books and resources. There's a books and resources section. So in that section, you will find my book, Heavy Light, Periodized Throwing for the Highland Games. And that is an ebook that takes you through an entire season of programming for the Scottish Highland Games. You'll also find Matt Vincent's Throwing Lab, Matt Vincent's Training Lab. Throwing Lab is a technique manual for the Highland Games. Training Lab is a weight room manual for the Highland Games. You'll find those on there. Also, just struck a deal with 4-time world champion Dan McKim to start carrying his books. He has 2 books. He has Behemoth and he has Throw Heavy, which are 2 fantastic books that talk, again, about weight training and technique training for the throws for the Scottish Highland Games. It's all going to be on there. Ebooks are available now. We are going to start doing hard copies of these books because people do want hard copies. They just demand that stuff. Guys are so demanding. Just like my 15-month-old, so demanding. So you just found weighted baseballs? All right, so yeah, you got weighted baseballs. All right, you want to work on your throwing strength. I get it. You heard me talking about throwing? You want to work on it. I get it. You want to get on the trampoline. This is some high-level training stuff right here. So yeah, go to throwbros.com. This is high-level stuff my toddler's working on. Weighted baseball training on a dynamic surface trampoline. I need to get some video of this. I might need to pull out the computer, start typing up a white paper on this style of training. Double weighted baseball training. Oh, here are the old ones. Here they are. Double weighted baseball training on a dynamic surface. And then she's going to include other athletes. So this will be a group workout also. So things have calmed down appreciably here in the backyard. Kids are still active, but they're all kind of doing their own thing. The kids have now taken over the hammock. I'm sitting in one of the chairs out near our little fire pit area. But I really wanted to get into kind of the crux of this, the idea that led to this episode. I may have to turn the microphone on. Was how important is strength? How important is it to be strong? Well, I've never really been strong, so I might not be the authority on that one. But I have pursued strength for a long time. And if you look on the internet, you're going to find several different lists about strength standards, what makes you strong, what level of strong is it. You know, there's the old EXRX list about what makes you a beginner, intermediate, advanced, elite, all that kind of stuff. Dan John has a list about it. This is pretty interesting because it's not just about single lifts. It's about also like physical tests, things you should do for reps, things you can do with your body. I think that's cool. I tend more towards that line of thinking. But what those lead to a lot of times is just people seeking out justification for where they are. And I've been guilty of it too. You know, you see some of those numbers that line up that make you advanced or, you know, intermediate where you think you're terrible, or, you know, some of you out there, if you find elite numbers, it's going to make you feel good about yourself. But depending on your goals, that can be completely irrelevant. And that's the big thing, is what are your goals? If your goal is to be a power lifter, then you need to get squat, bench, and deadlift into elite as fast as possible and with as few injuries as possible. You know, if you are an Olympic lifter, those competition lifts, the snatch and the clean and jerk, well, those are the things where you need to get those as high in the strength standards as you can, right? And then things like the squat, the push press, the overhead press, those things, while important to bring up, aren't your competition standard. And that's not what you're shooting for. Those things, it helps if they're higher, most likely. But if you don't, you know, you can be an elite weightlifter without an elite squat as a power lifter. That's usually a decent amount of overlap in those two. Maybe not the best example. But yeah, you can find a lot of lists that will help you, again, justify where you are. And that's dangerous thinking. I think the best way to think about it is, again, if you're, let's talk about if you're not, you know, an elite athlete or somebody chasing a strength sport goal, which is certainly me at this point. You know, how important is it to be strong? How strong do you need to be? Well, there's not a number goal. There's not. I'm sorry. Like, there's a level of day-to-day useful strength that I think most of us would agree that as a grown man or woman, you should have. There are things you should be able to do. You should be able to pick up your kids. You know, assuming you're an able-bodied adult, you know, within a certain age range and you're not elderly and infirmed, that you should be able to pick up your children. You should be able to help move furniture. You should be able to pick up boxes. You should be able to pull your body weight up. You should be able to push things away from you. You should be able to squat down your own body weight at least. I think those things are all generally accepted. But a lot of those things are more in line with just being a functional person. What does it mean to be a strong person? So I'll put it to you this way. Amongst my friends, many of whom are strength sports athletes in varying disciplines, people that I meet for work, those are people that are strong by almost anybody's standard. But amongst them, I'm weak. I'm not a strong person. And that's something that I have obviously come to accept, and I found my own niche in, and I think everybody kind of has to do that. But in, like, let's look at my street, where I live, the people around me right now, I'm considered strong. Like, I'm considered very strong in this particular group. And that's strange for me. That's kind of having, a foot in two worlds, more or less, with something like strength. And another example, like, the Muay Thai class. Like, the comments that I have already from coaches and other people jokingly is that, like, strength is not going to be an issue for me. In terms of fighting, in terms of a striking art, and that one in particular, I'm strong enough. I'm more than strong enough. And the key point is that there are people, my height, my size, they'll be nowhere near as physically strong as me, that will just wipe the floor with me. So how important is it in that context? So that's why it's really hard for me or anybody else to judge, are you strong? What's strong enough? I tried to think about it in terms of numbers. And like I said, that's really hard to quantify in numbers. But I think and I can only speak as an adult male because as far as I can tell, that's all I've ever been. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds, right? But in terms of an adult male, somebody that's between the ages of 18 and 50, let's say. I'm just pulling numbers out here, guys. This is non-scientific. But if you're somebody that can, we're going to start with bench because bench is obviously the most important lift. If you can bench 225 pounds for reps, if you can deadlift 405 for reps, if you can squat 315 for reps, just on those three measures alone, or if you can do a set of 10 pull-ups, or if you can, that's your I don't know how to say what I want sound. I know. But if you can do those things, I think you're strong enough for day-to-day life. I think the people that know you, general population folks, will find you strong. Now, is that enough? That depends on you, man. Like right now, for me, all those things are enough to do everything I need to do to be functional, to be happy, to be active in the things I want to be active in. But if I decide to step into powerlifting, those things would be pathetic at my size. If I decided to be an Olympic lifter, then my snatch and clean and jerk would be pathetic. So it's contextual for me. But the reason I can feel pretty good about jumping around so much and really embracing the do-whatever lifestyle is that I feel like I have that baseline of strength, that I have that bottom of the pyramid sorted out. And that's something that I think makes it easier to be more general. So while I may really talk a lot about do whatever, have a good breadth of experience, jump in anything, you do have to understand that a baseline level of fitness and strength is pretty useful for that. All right, I'm going to go check on all that screaming. It sounds like none of it's an injury at this point, but we're always only a split second away from more stitches. So, I will talk to you guys soon.